Hey, boys and girls. Good to see you again, all my wild and crazy fifth and sixth graders. Welcome to catechism class on this Thursday. Any of you seen the movie Evan Almighty? Kind of a modern remake of Noah's Ark. Love that movie. It's cleverly written. Of course, it's not right out of the Bible or anything like that. It's just a movie, but kind of reminds us. We were talking the other day about Noah. What an amazing example he was of trust. Um, and this is what the New Testament says about Noah. By faith, in other words, his trust in God, Noah, when warned about things not seen, in holy fear built an ark to save his family. Yeah, Hebrews 11, verse 7 says it all when it comes to Noah. It was his faith, it was his trust. And that's what we're talking about once again today, trust. Trust in God above all things. So says the first commandment. So the question I have listed there for you is, so who are you going to trust? Well, some people trust in other people. And that's okay. Like if you're a little baby and you trust or depend upon your parents to take care of you, that's all well and good. But just in general, look what the Bible passage in Psalm 118, verse 8 says. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in man. You know, man breaks promises, man disappoints, man fails to show up, man betrays your trust. Man is human and subject to some failure and often ends up letting us down. What about yourself? Are you going to trust yourself? Look what it says in Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not unto your own understanding. Guess what? Yourself, you might be super smart, but you still make bad choices. Sometimes you do fail. Sometimes you get tired and worn down. Sometimes you and I give in to temptation, and sometimes we make mistakes that make us want to kick ourselves. We are human. I guess that's what it means to be human. So that's not foolproof to trust in yourself. What about God? God says, He invites, call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver you. And because of that, you will honor me. Oh my. God has a perfect, proven track record. He loves us with love that goes beyond our understanding. God has power to do miraculous things. The Bible's chock full of examples of that. God is available to us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. God is always ready to listen and always able to help. Why not? Why would it be any different? He's the creator, the almighty creator of heaven and earth. Who are you going to trust? God. God above all things. Let's go on to our next slide. Um, I love this story of a tightrope walker. Let's see what your level of trust would be here. Anyway, so there's this guy who tied a cable, a really thick cord between two super tall buildings. And guess what? He walked across this cable pushing a wheelbarrow without falling off. You've maybe seen tightrope walkers. I mean, it's a pretty amazing feat, if you ask me. I actually saw it live and in person once, um, and I was stunned. I was in awe of it. But this tightrope walker, he got to the other side, and then he got out his loudspeaker and he says, "Okay, um, are you amazed by this?" And the crowd answered, "Yes, yes, yes, yes." Then he asked, any volunteers to sit in the wheelbarrow? Come on up. Not a single volunteer. Nobody was crazy enough to entrust their life in this guy who would be pushing you in a wheelbarrow across a little thin cable. Way too dangerous. Okay, so you and I can see that once again, trust in other human beings does have its shortcomings. Look at the story of David and Goliath. Here's another story of trust. Wow, this is just truly amazing. David was this young, untrained soldier. I mean, let's face it, he was a shepherd boy. His specialty was taking care of sheep, although he was very good with one weapon, a slingshot. Um, why was David unafraid to take on the Goliath, the giant, the Philistine giant? Well, here's the difference. Goliath trusted in himself, his size, his strength, his weapons, his experience as a soldier. David, well, listen to what he trusted in, or whom he trusted in. He said, I come to you in the name of the Lord Almighty. Well, you know the rest of the story. David's trust in the Lord Almighty and God Himself was rewarded with victory. Remember, he shot those pebbles right between Goliath's eyes and knocked him out cold with his little slingshot. So you see, trusting in God in this life is really what it's all about. Um, Look at the Bible passage, which encourages us to do that. It's Psalm 37, verse 5. Commit your way to the Lord, trust in Him, and He will do this. He will take care of us. He will bless us. He will prosper us. I love this next little story. It's called Mixing Sodas. Um, this is a true story, of course. I have taken like some orange soda and maybe mix in some grape and then some cola. Guess what color it is? When you mix certain kinds of, maybe some Mountain Dew in there too, when you mix these orange and grape and cola and Mountain Dew together, it comes out pukey brown. And then I pour it in little cups and I give it to all my students. Well, guess what? Nobody wanted to drink it. It looked gross. There was nothing wrong with it. It was just a bunch of sodas mixed together. But it begs the question, did they trust me enough to pick up the glass and drink it? And most of the kids wouldn't do it because they weren't there to watch me make it. I guess you get the idea about trust. I mean, if you really trust someone, um, you will not be afraid. You will not be afraid. I'd like to tell you the story then about the Christians in Indonesia. For some time, Christians in Indonesia, and Indonesia, by the way, is a whole group of islands, beautiful islands just north of Australia, just below the Indian Ocean there. Excuse me. And for the longest time, Christians in Indonesia have lived in danger. Um, they trusted in God. They told their family and friends that they believed in God. They were Christians. And guess what? They were rejected. They were shunned by their own family members. They were sometimes beaten or thrown in jail. They were even threatened with death. Why would they endure this persecution? Because they feared, loved, and trusted in God above all things. And that's really, boys and girls, I pray that you and I might obey the first commandment with that kind of amazing level of trust. Let's talk quickly about Corey. Is this the right kind of trust in God? I'm not going to save money for college. God will take care of me. When the bills come in, God will provide. Uh, Boys and girls, that's tempting God. That's being lazy. That's not using the brain and the talents God gave you to be successful in life. That is sort of misappropriated trust. And that's not the kind of trust we want to have. It's a foolish trust. Look at Jenny. She says, I'm such a worrywart. It seems like I'm always worrying about being popular and having friends. Anytime we worry, it's a weakness of our faith. It's a weakness, it's a lack of enough trust in God. It's a lack in believing that God can and will bless you when you're around your friends at school or in the neighborhood, that God will bless you with nice friends in life. And we need to learn to trust God in that way. Of course, we want to treat those people around us in the same way that we would want to be treated. We treat them with Christian love. And boys and girls, I can pretty well assure you, you will never have a lack of friends. God blesses that sort of thing. And that's trusting in God to provide for us in every which way. In summary, then, on the bottom, it says, trust in God above all things. What is that? That's believing in, depending on, and turning to God in every need. That's obedience to the first commandment. And God blesses us in so many ways when we do obey his commandments. And when we fail, boys and girls, don't ever forget. We turn to God in prayer, asking for forgiveness, asking us to always do better tomorrow. And with that, we know God does forgive and God will bless. May God bless you the rest of this day, and I'll see you for our next lesson real soon.